Ladies and gentlemen, Cowboys Nation and NFL fans across the globe, buckle up because we are diving deep into one of the wildest, most headline-grabbing scenarios in recent sports memory. Just when you thought the NFL offseason couldn't get any crazier, the rumor mill has gone nuclear with what could only be described as a Texas-sized shakeup. The Dallas Cowboys trading longtime quarterback Dak Prescott in order to draft none other than Shedeur Sanders, yes, the son of Deion Sanders, and not stopping there, but going all in by signing Deion Sanders himself to take over as head coach in one of the boldest franchise moves imaginable. Now, before you scream clickbait and click away, hold your horses because this isn't just some TikTok dream or Reddit fantasy. This is a real conversation among analysts, insiders, and even former Cowboys legends. The idea? Rip the Band-Aid off the stale Dak Prescott era, throw caution to the wind, and give this franchise the cultural facelift it desperately needs. And let's be honest, Jerry Jones isn't known for playing it safe. He's known for making headlines, setting narratives, and pushing for what the league doesn't see coming. But could even he pull off something this seismic? Let's talk about Dak Prescott first. The man has been the face of the Cowboys for nearly a decade, a strong, respected leader, durable, resilient. Yet, despite all the regular season wins, stats, and Pro Bowl nods, Dak has repeatedly failed to get over the postseason hump. Time after time, he's brought Dallas to the brink, only to come up short when it matters most. Fans are divided. Some say he's elite, that he's not the problem. Others say he's been given every weapon possible, every chance to lead America's team back to the Super Bowl, and has failed. The narrative has reached a boiling point, and what happens when a quarterback has maxed out his goodwill with the fans and ownership? You either double down with a risky extension, or you hit the reset button, and this rumor suggests the latter in dramatic fashion. The concept is simple but massive. Trade Dak Prescott, unload the contract, and move into a new era, an era defined by energy, media attention, youth, and prime time swagger. The Cowboys would then use that newfound draft capital or cap flexibility to not only draft Shedeur Sanders, but also install Coach Prime Deion Sanders as the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. It sounds like a Hollywood script, but let's unpack why it's not as far-fetched as you think. Deion Sanders is not just a name. He's a brand, a legacy, a cultural force. He's the only person to have played in both a Super Bowl and a World Series. He's a Hall of Famer. But more than that, he's become one of the most electric, magnetic coaching personalities in college football. What he's done with Jackson State and now with Colorado has completely shifted the paradigm. He's turned low-tier programs into primetime spectacles. He's brought five-star recruits, media attention, and credibility to places that had no national voice before. And what's Jerry Jones all about? Attention. Ratings. Legacy. And it makes sense, at least on a PR level. But let's look at this deeper. Could Deion really coach in the NFL? That's the big question. He has no experience at the pro coaching level, and the leap from college to the pros has humbled many great minds. But what Deion brings, discipline, culture, swagger, accountability, and player loyalty might be exactly what a disjointed, underperforming Cowboys team needs. It's not always about X's and O's. Sometimes it's about getting your locker room to believe again. And if there's anyone who can sell a vision, it's Deion Sanders. But of course, this entire plotline gets turbocharged if it includes his son, Shedeur Sanders, as the new face of the franchise at quarterback. Now, Shedeur Sanders is no ordinary prospect. Despite slipping in the draft, whether due to politics, hype backlash, or genuine concerns about his game, he's a high IQ, pocket-passing quarterback with elite footwork, timing, and toughness. Some scouts believe he has the tools to be a top-tier NFL starter, but others were skeptical, suggesting he held onto the ball too long at Colorado and benefited from a tailored system. Still, what you can't deny is his confidence, leadership, and composure under pressure. He's been groomed for greatness, raised by one of the most competitive athletes in history, and he carries himself like a pro already. Bringing in Shedeur would mark a radical change in direction for Dallas. Gone would be the familiar rhythm of the Dak-led offense. In its place, a younger, fresher, more adaptable system built around mobility, precision, and a fearless mindset. There's also the undeniable chemistry between father and son. Who better to guide Shedeur through the brutal reality of being a starting quarterback in Dallas, the most scrutinized position in sports, than Deion? It's not just about skill, it's about handling the pressure, about embracing the spotlight, about carrying the star. But what would it take to make all this happen? That's where things get murky. Dak Prescott has a no-trade clause. His contract extension, worth over $240 million, is loaded with guarantees and dead cap hits that make moving him extremely difficult. We're talking about one of the most complex financial commitments in the league. To trade Dak, the Cowboys would either need to eat an enormous amount of dead cap money or convince another team to restructure and take him on. Not impossible, but extremely tricky. And then there's Shedeur. Assuming the Cowboys don't already hold a top draft pick, they'd need to trade up, perhaps giving up multiple future first rounders and premium players like Micah Parsons to land him. That kind of deal could rip apart the current roster depth. And Deion, he's under contract with Colorado and has stated publicly that he's committed to the program, but he's also hinted very subtly that coaching in Dallas would be the only NFL job he'd even consider. Is it a long shot? Yes, but is it completely impossible? Not anymore. What's fascinating is how fans have reacted to all of this. On social media, Cowboys Nation is split. Some fans are frothing at the mouth over the idea, calling it the kind of bold move that could awaken the franchise from its 30-year championship drought. Give us Prime. Give us Shedeur. Let's build something new, one fan posted. Others are furious, calling it a circus and saying it would destroy the foundation of a team that's already on the edge. We don't need reality TV. We need football, another fan commented. And then there are the skeptics, pointing to how similar situations have backfired on teams before. Hiring star names without experience, drafting based on hype, breaking up locker room chemistry for headlines. The NFL is ruthless. It eats hype alive. Still, the one thing everyone agrees on is that the current situation isn't working. The Cowboys continue to fall short. They've become synonymous with regular season greatness and playoff disappointment. Something has to change. What makes this all so tantalizing is the way each piece fits together. It's not just about getting a new quarterback. It's about rewriting the Cowboys story from a stale, underachieving franchise to a new age spectacle, from safe and traditional to bold and explosive. Deion brings that. Shedeur brings that. This would be the biggest culture shift in the league since the 49ers traded up for Trey Lance. Except with even more spotlight, legacy, and chaos. And Jerry Jones, he lives for chaos. He's 82 years old. He wants another ring, and he doesn't have time to wait for conventional rebuilds. If there was ever a time to go all in on a headline-grabbing, legacy-defining move, it's now. But let's not forget the risk. What if Shedeur isn't ready? What if Deion struggles to command respect in a professional locker room? What if the whole thing collapses under the weight of expectations? That's the gamble. And that's what makes it so compelling. And the Cowboys are already the most talked about team in the NFL. And this move would double that overnight. Every sports network, every podcast, every fan, they'd all be watching, okay? For better or worse, this would become the biggest story in sports. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what Dallas needs. Not another 10-7 season and a wild card loss. Not another year of maybe next time. They need a moment, a movement, a shock to the system. And whether you love it or hate it, you can't deny Deion and Shedeur would bring that like nobody else. So here we are in the middle of one of the wildest what if scenarios in Cowboys history. It's bold, it's messy, it's risky, but it's exactly the kind of conversation that reminds us why we love this game. The stakes, the legacy, the drama. Could it happen? Maybe. Will it happen? Hard to say. But if it did, it would be one of the most unforgettable moves in NFL history. So Cowboys fans, what do you think? Should Jerry go all in for Coach Prime and Shedeur? Or is this just another offseason fantasy that'll fade away by week 1? Let us know in the comments. Hit that like button if you love bold ideas. And don't forget to subscribe for all things Cowboys, rumors, and NFL madness. Because one thing's for sure, this story is just getting started.